So, to remind ourselves of our akhirah. We all know that when a person passes away and he is buried into his grave, you must have heard this many a times, that three things accompany him. And let's repeat this, so it's like a reminder for us. It serves as a reminder for us and as a warning for us as well, so we can prepare and change our ways and change our habits. And who knows, tonight might be the changing moment in our lives where we do tawbah, we sincerely repent and say, enough's enough now. The shaitan's got the better of me all the time. Now is the time where I totally change my life. I turn towards my Lord and I sincerely worship my Lord. So you know that when a person passes away, we've learned that it takes three things with him to the grave. And to the grave, not in the grave, to the grave. It's his family and friends, they are one. It's his wealth and everything, they accompany him. And the third thing is his actions. But two things return back. Once you bury him, his family and friends, they return, and the wealth, they return, and they stay in the dunya. You all know this. You can't take your money into the grave. You can't take your family members. You can't take your mother. You can't take your children. You can't take your father. You can't take anybody into the grave. It's you and you alone in your grave, 6 feet under. There's nobody there. But there's going to be one thing with you, and that is your a'mal, that is your actions, that is your deeds. Now it's up to us whether we want to have good deeds with us, whether we want to have bad deeds with us. We want to do tawbah for our bad deeds. No doubt we commit sins. Every single one of us here. I said this in my bayan earlier. We are all criminals tonight. Every single day we are criminals. We are guilty. And we acknowledge this and we confess to Allah that, oh Allah, we are criminals and we are guilty and we are sinners and we have disobeyed you and we have angered you. And Ya Allah, we hope that you can forgive us tonight. And not only us, our Muslim brothers and sisters who have also passed away as well. So there's a message. The message is for us that we come to the graveyard. It reminds us of the akhirah. This is one of the primary reasons why we should come to the graveyard. Also pay respect to our loved ones. But more importantly, think about your grave. When you stand near the grave, whether it's your father's grave, whether it's your mother's grave, whether it's your brother's grave, whether it's your sister's grave, remember, that's your brother, that's your father, that's your loved one. But there was a time when he was with you. You used to talk with him. You used to sit with him. You used to go on drives with him. You used to eat with him. Yeah, you used to do things for them. You used to serve your mother and father. Today they're no longer here. Today they're no longer here. Tomorrow it will be you in that grave. What legacy have you left behind? How many children have you left behind who will do dua for you? How many friends and families have you left behind who will do dua for you? How many good deeds are you taking into your grave? What sins have we done and have we repented? We need to think about these things again and again and again. Allah says in many places of the Quran, Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu taqullaha haqqa tuqatihi. O you who believe, fear Allah the way He's supposed to be feared. وَلَا تَمُوتُنَّ إِلَّا وَأَنْتُمْ مُسْلِمُونَ. And don't die except that you are believers. What guarantee do we have that we're going to die with Iman? What guarantee do we have? Yeah? What guarantee? Just because we've got a beard, just because I've got a beard, do I have this guarantee that I'm going to die with Iman? Nobody has this guarantee that he will die with Iman. There are plenty of people in the past, pious people of Allah, but what happened? The shaitan got the better of them and Allah Ta'ala took their Iman away. The shaitan deceived them and Allah Ta'ala took their Iman away. So what guarantee do me and you have that we're going to have our Iman at the time of death? This is why one of the biggest du'as we should always do is, Ya Allah, no matter how sinful I am. And this is something that you take back with you. Take back with you. If you don't take anything back, this is one thing you take back with you. The Iman is the biggest gift. The Iman is the biggest gift that Allah has given you. Without asking, Allah has given it to us, right? And doesn't matter how sinful you are, you always say, Ya Allah, no matter how bad I am, no matter how many sins I've done, Ya Allah, you know my true reality, but Ya Allah, I ask for forgiveness. I ask for forgiveness, and Ya Allah, give me death with Iman. This is the dua you must do. Everybody say Ameen. Ameen. Ya Allah, give me death with Iman. For forgiveness you ask, but you also say, Ya Allah, no matter how bad I am, Ya Allah, give me death with Iman. This is the biggest thing, because remember, my brothers, if you don't have Iman, all the namaz that you did in this world, all the roses that you kept in this world, every good deed, every penny that you give in the way of Allah, the masjids that you built, right? The orphan homes that you opened and provided them shelter and food and care, every good thing that you did, yeah, all the charity work that you did, all the nafli ibadah that you did, all the nafli roses that you did, everything that you did, if you don't have Iman, it's all wasted. The biggest thing is Iman. And the one who didn't do anything all his life, he didn't even read one namaz. He didn't even read one Jummah namaz. Huh? Or he didn't even keep one fast of Ramadan. It's wrong. He shouldn't live a life like this. Right? He was a sinner. He committed many sins. But he still had Iman. He believed in Allah and his final Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and all the other prophets and the angels and the fundamental beliefs of Islam. that even if he's a sinner, after Allah wills how long his punishment is going to be, however long, Allah will still enter him into Jannah. Why? What was the reason? Because he had Iman. So what's the message for today? Do dua for the safety of your Iman. Do dua for the safety of your Iman, that when at the time of death, when the shaitan comes, there's a hadith that comes to my mind, and I'll conclude with this, and we'll do Fatiha. The Prophet ﷺ says something like this, that there's 4 categories of people. There are those people who are born as Muslims, they live their life as Muslims, and then they pass away as Muslims. Then there are those who are born as Muslims, they live their life as Muslims, but they pass away on disbelief. So which category are we going to be from? Is it the first category or is it the second category? We were born Muslims. We live like Muslims. Our names are Muslim names. We go to the masjid here and there. Right? We do good actions here and there. So we live in a life like Muslims. But what guarantee do me and you have that when we die, we're going to die as Muslims? Yeah? So this is the thing that we need to keep in our mind. And on the other hand, the Prophet ﷺ said that the person will be born as a non-Muslim, he'll live a life as a non-Muslim, and he'll die as a non-Muslim. And then there'll be some who will be born as non-Muslims, they will live a life like non-Muslims, but towards the end of their life, Allah Ta'ala will bless them with Iman, and they will accept Iman, and they will die as Muslims. So that person is better. That one is better in one sense, that at least when he passed away, he had Iman. And that Muslim who lived like a Muslim, who was born as a Muslim, but at the time, the crucial time, was about to pass away, when the angel of death came to seize his soul, he lost his Iman. The biggest thing that we have, my brothers, is Iman. And the Quran says, لِيَبْلُوَكُمْ أَيُّكُمْ أَحْسَنُ عَمَلًا. Allah is to test me and you. Okay, no one's perfect. We're all vulnerable to the shaitan. We must keep on repenting and doing tawbah and doing dua for our forgiveness. And tonight is a night where Allah Ta'ala will be forgiving millions and millions of Muslims. So we hope that Allah Ta'ala forgives us. And not only us, all of our loved ones who are buried here or anywhere in the world. Right? Some of you guys might have relatives in Pakistan. So do dua for them, you know. And when we're going to do the Fatiha, think of your loved ones. If someone's got a father buried here, think of your father. If you've got a mother buried here, think of your mother. If you've got a brother buried here, think of him. If you've got a sister buried here, think of her. If you've got a child, your son, your daughter, or your nephew, or your niece, or your best friend, anybody that you knew, right? And they're buried here, they passed away recently, 40 years ago, 30 years ago. All of them. When you're doing the Fatiha and you're doing the dua, remember them inshallah. And I can guarantee you, and I can assure you, the scholars have explicitly mentioned, stated, and clarified that when you go to the graves, the deceased, they recognize you. The deceased, they recognize you. And they are expecting some reward from you. And the scholars have explicitly said that when a person recites something, Surah Yasin, Surah Mulk, Surah Ikhlas, even Qul Huwallahu Ahad, any small, subhanallah, alhamdulillah, and you convey the reward of that action, because you're going to get the reward. That's your reward. Allah has given you that reward. Now you can give that to anybody you want. So if you want to give to somebody alive, you can give to somebody alive. That's how the world works. If you've got something you own, you can give it to anybody, right? So you give it to the person who's passed away. He is expecting, so your father, his soul is expecting some reward from you. So those who have turned up today, inshallah, hopefully we will be benefiting those people who have passed away in their graves. And there might be some, Muslims who are buried here that may have no relatives at all. No one to remember them. No one's even done dua for them in ages. Because their family members, they're not there anymore, or they're not interested, or they're into the world, whatever. But even then, we're going to still remember them in our du'as as well. So inshallah, everybody together, inshallah, al-Fatiha.